Tonight, I have some rather unique storylines for you, a big character correction, and some of TV's top series, plus another chance for you to add to your home video collection. As cinematic class is about to begin, and your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, and other sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And boy, have I got a lesson planned for you tonight. Before we get underway, I'd like to remind you that Outtakes with Rex Reel is sponsored by the House of Fairuza, Barbershop, and Cigar Lounge. Lots of good things going on down there. We'll tell you about them a little bit later. But they do sponsor the show, and we'd like you to sponsor them. They're at the corner of South Park Road and Drake Road. You know, I want to start off today's show talking about a TV series. TV series and even limited series are becoming very much in vogue for viewers, especially it took root when everybody was kind of hibernating due to the virus restrictions and what have you. One of the TV series that came out that is, it really is very good, is Reacher. Now, let's go back a little bit and talk about Reacher. Lee Child writes the Jack Reacher novels. He's got a plethora of them out. I think I've read about, I want to say between 7 and 8. He's a really good character. He is described as being almost a giant. He's about 6'8", goes about 250 pounds, looks like your stereotypical jarhead, you know, the short hair, the muscle build, just all in all, a dude you don't want to mess with. Well, when they decided to bring Reacher to the silver screen, they put in Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is maybe an inch taller than I am, so that puts him at about maybe 5'7", 5'8". In his stocking feet, and boy, I'm sure the ladies will agree he's built nice, but he's no hulking mass of humanity. Now, I gotta say right off the bat, Tom Cruise did 2 Jack Reacher movies, and I enjoyed them. I did. They were very good action films. But if you've read the Reacher novels, even though those movies were enjoyable, it didn't capture the true essence of that character. Well, I can tell you that character correction has been made within the TV series. So, playing Jack Reacher in the series is Alan Ritchson, and this guy is pretty big, okay? He looks like Jack Reacher in the Lee Child novels reads, and it's worthwhile. This went on for 8 episodes, this limited series, and most of the series, I gotta say, if I have one pet peeve with them, it's that they last too long. And I think this one could probably have lost about 2. Could probably be the whole story delivered in about 6 episodes, but it stretched out to 8, and it's worthwhile. I kind of binged it because I really enjoyed the way the character went. You be a judge, especially if you've read the novels. Here's a look now at the limited TV series, Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher, parents deceased, retired Army.
Bronze Star, Silver Star, and a Purple Heart.
What in God's name is a guy like that doing in Margrave?
What's a guy like that doing in jail? Zip ties?
Cuffs didn't fit him.
You guys recycle?
7 bodies since you set foot in my town.
I was arrested for murder. Now you want my help?
I want you to do what I say.
You just go wherever you want, whenever you want?
Everyone's always jealous. I'm gonna uncover this whole operation and burn it to the ground.
You know, one thing I will give independent movies is they do try different things. Some things that the major studios perhaps won't, perhaps shouldn't. And one of them is a movie called Strawberry Mansion. Now, this is a dystopian world in the future, and this is frightening to say, but the government in the future has concocted a method by which they can put product placement in your dreams. Yeah, that's pretty strange, huh? And then what happens is the IRS audits your dreams and taxes you on the product placement that was put into your dream. Kind of an interesting concept. We probably shouldn't say it too loud. The progressives may find a way to do it, and we wouldn't want that. So the IRS audits your dreams, and then they collect a tax on the products that are in your dreams. James Preble is played by Kentucker Audley, and he is sent to a rather rundown country home owned by Bella Isadora. He's there to audit her. Now, Bella, who, by the way, is played by Penny Fuller, has found a kind of unique way to get around the IRS taxing her dreams. She doesn't record them digitally as every good citizen is supposed to. Instead, she has them hooked up to an old VHS recording system, and the government can't access that. So they have sent James to go through all of her videotapes and figure out what kind of a tax that she owes. Her interface with the dreams is interesting because naturally in her dreams we see her in a younger self, and we also see things of dreams. Well, let me get to that. Tell you what's happening here. As James is sorting out his way through these hundreds of tapes that belong to Bella, he actually begins to harbor feelings and then fall in love with the younger version of herself that is contained in the dreams. Now, that's interesting in a way, but the government realizes, hey, you know, James has taken a long time with this audit. Something must be going on. And so more government agents come down onto the little farmhouse in an effort to see what in the world is going on and why James is taking so long. Although this is a dystopian future world, all of the fashions and social content, they're based on the 1950s. So it has a futuristic and retro work going at the same time. It's filled with very heavy doses of fried chicken dinners and chicken and gravy shakes. Yeah, you have to see it to believe it. This whole thing is the brainchild of Albert Burney, who hails from Baltimore. He is the writer and the director. I told you in the dreams you see some weird things. That includes talking rats, some frog waiters, and a host of fantasy characters that you would expect once you enter someone's dream. This movie is totally bizarre, but it's an awful lot of fun to watch and very different. We're going to give it a solid B+ rating.
Arrived at the home of Arabella Isadora on September 22nd, 2035.
I'm here to perform a preliminary audit. It appears we have no tax records for you or your property.
I will begin my audit immediately.
He's waking up.
Where's Bella?
You want to kiss me?
What?
Do you believe that your dreams are your own?
Of course.
I want you to look at this.
You find anything interesting on the tapes?
Captain! A blue demon!
Bella!
No sign of Bella.
Gotta find her. Why did you bring me here?
I wanted someone to share my dreams with.
You know, you really can't post anything on any of the social networks that takes a counter view to the pandemic, the Wuhan virus. Even if it's a science fiction or a horror movie or a fable, it doesn't matter. The social networks will shut it down and say you're spreading disinformation, and that's why I'm giving you the review for After the Pandemic here on the TV show because no one will allow it on social. This is the work of Richard Lowry. He wrote it, he directed it, he shot it, and he also wrote the music for it as well. So that's kind of interesting. See, what has happened is COVID, the Wuhan virus, has pretty much destroyed the earth. Adults, okay? Kids are immune. Well, yeah, we're kind of finding that out now. But, yeah. So the planet is basically inhabited by youngsters. And what do these youngsters do when they inherit a planet? Ballet. I'm not making this up. The bottom line on After the Pandemic is that this is really basically just a very twisted lesbian love tale. Okay, you have the one girl who is very stereotypical, the butch, and then she falls in love with another stereotypical nerd. Okay, and that's basically the underlying theme of the movie. It is very, very slow developing. These ladies, even the butch character who was supposed to be like a female Rambo, they're very poor survivalists. You're watching this and going, oh my God, what are they doing? That type of thing. Now, there are a few adults left. They're government officials, and they don't go out unless they're in complete hazmat suits and things like that. And they're trying to shut these people down. The government officials are even worse. I don't know where they got these guys. So, Gen Z kind of prides themselves and being the generation that will fight for themselves and they will stand together and stick like glue. Yeah, not in this movie, they don't. There are roving bands of highwaymen who will attack and, well, they're highwaymen. They're robbers. That's what they do. Wait till you see the band of robbers in this movie. I mean, you will like, let's put it this way. As old as I am, as out of shape as I am, I wouldn't sweat any of these guys. It's just badly acted. It really is. They're cheesy at best. Now, independent producers continue to reflect a new paradigm when it comes to talking about the Wuhan virus. That's commendable. I don't mind that. Variations on a theme, if you will, by Eric Satie. This film is just not really good for the cause. It's just not. We're going to give it a D. Here's a look at After the Pandemic.
Take me with you, please!
Eat this. I won't put my life at risk for anyone else. Even you. That's selfish. Yeah, it's also survival.
Last time on the show, I gave you an opportunity to add to your home video collection in the sci-fi genre. The movie went over well, so we decided to go back to the same genre again. And this time, you have the chance to add to your home video collection Project Gemini. And let me tell you what's going on in this movie. Earth is dying, primarily because of the Wuhan virus, and the Earth is just dying completely. So mankind gets together an international expedition to seek out a new planet where man can go and live again. However, when they go out there in the reaches of space, they find that something is waiting just for them to arrive. You can add this to your home video collection. Let me put my email up here for you, filmcritic3@verizon.net. Just send me your name and address, and if you are one of the first few to get in, I have a limited number of these, I will send one to you. It's really that simple. There are a couple of caveats on this. First, I can only send one movie per household, so don't send me an email saying, I'd like 12. No, you're not going to get 12. You'll get one. And secondly, I'm going to limit this to the continental United States, simply because the budget for mailing is a bit limited. So if you live down in the lower 48, as they say, and you'd like to add to your video collection with Project Gemini, all you need to do is send me your name and mailing address to filmcritic3@verizon.net. It's that simple, and I'll send one of these your way. Here's a look at Project Gemini.
What threatened us with catastrophe turned out to be our salvation. The new history of mankind begins here.
And the earth was sightless and empty, and the darkness over the abyss.
That is Project Gemini. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, it has a whole bunch of nice little extras on the back here, too. So you get this whole complete package. This is the Blu-ray edition of the movie. Send me your name, your address, and I'll send one of these bad boys to you post haste, as they say. Do me a favor. In the subject line, put Rex Real Gemini. This way I know this is the movie that you're talking about. So under the subject, Rex Real Gemini, filmcritic3@verizon.net. I'll get one of these into your hands, and you can enjoy some sci-fi action. You know, I talked in the beginning of the show about how some independent movies will go places where regular studios fear to tread. Okay? There's a movie called The Last Possession. It's from our friends at Terror Films, who have really been cranking out quite a number of movies. Now, you know, I have kind of a reputation for finding these different independent movies and presenting them, and a lot of the condescending critics in the two-lettered cities won't touch them at all. But I really do like presenting them to you when they're off the wall. Okay, let's play a little game. Now, it says The Last Possession. So we're talking about demonic possession. Take just a few moments and think to yourself, how would you combat devil possession? Now, wait a bit. Are you thinking about things like maybe crucifixes, the Bible, holy water? Maybe bring in a priest, some kind of shaman, you know, something like that? Yeah. That would be pretty typical, wouldn't it? But you didn't think of this one. How about fighting the devil with space aliens? I kid you not. This movie was directed by Dan Riddle, and it was written by Greg Souse. I got to tell you, it stars Stephen Brody, Cassie Shea Watson, and Patricia Ray. Okay, so basically what we have is we have a demon who is haunting a house, and the demon is trying to possess the little boy in the house. The boy's grandfather died there recently, and his ghost is in the house, but his ghost is trying to save the little boy from the demon that is trying to possess him. Now, the dad has a friend who has a grandmother who is kind of like an exorcist type person, backwoods country voodoo thing. They even bring her into this to try to get rid of the demon. And then, of course, you have that giant hole in the backyard from which strange lights seem to go. You know, we have kind of a standard thing in the old Mastracci household when sitting around the dinner table and someone starts talking about a movie that maybe somebody else hasn't seen, and they'll say, hey, don't talk about it, I haven't watched it yet. Then the standard line is, well, all you need to know is everyone dies and the world blows up. In this movie, it's true. I'll tell you what, I had to give this 1 point just for creativity. I never in my life thought that space aliens would be the only way to get rid of an evil demon. We're going to give this one a C. Here's a look at The Last Possession.
Dad, there's a giant burnout hole back there. It's awesome. You gotta come see.
Hey!
What do you think caused it?
I'm not happy about this. I mean, look at me. Being here makes me feel like a failure, like he's laughing at me.
Ken, I don't think your father left you this house so he can laugh at you.
You don't need a nightlight too, do you?
I'm not afraid of the dark.
You didn't see it. We did. I know what I saw. There's something very wrong in this house.
What he's saying, my dad is haunting us.
What about the monster?
There is no such thing as monsters! You are all scaring yourselves to death for no reason, and it has to stop. There is always a reasonable scientific explanation for everything.
Ken, I am not crazy.
I'm feeling a presence I've never felt before.
We need to leave. Oh my God.
Jack!
Dad! Help me!
All right, talk about some really bizarre movies. Let's talk Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, back in the day, Tobe Hooper created a kind of a cult favorite with this movie. If you look realistically at the film, I know it was based on a true story. But the film is very irritating. It really is. It wasn't so much that it was irritating because it was a gore fest. It certainly was a gore fest. But the majority of the original film features a screaming chainsaw purposely set at decibel levels meant to irritate the viewing audience. That's what Tobe did, okay? So you had not only the gore and the special effects guys going nuts, but you had this irritating chainsaw all through the movie. Now, as you know, once you get a cult favorite, you get a bevy of sequels. And I think there was something like 17.5 million sequels to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But now we have what is being termed the true sequel. So if you take the original movie that Tobe did, and then all the following movies, just throw them out, and then go right to this one, that's the storyline that they want. It leaves behind all the other sequels, and it serves as what they're calling the true sequel to the original. Now, this has got to be a little bit difficult to pull off, to be honest with you, because it has to be more horror-oriented. That's what today's models want, viewers. But it also has to honor the platform on which it is based, and as such, we have this absolutely ridiculous scene where Leatherface acts as a deli manager on a bus. Okay, it's just. Now, there is a story here, but the story is quite implausible. You get a few hip progressives who have purchased a ghost town, and then they attempt to sell off the old buildings to create a new utopia for those who think properly and a barren oasis. It's supposed to be like a new Las Vegas for people who are woke. And of course, the one ghost town they buy and want to auction off houses Leatherface and his mom. So when the hipsters mess with their tranquility, old Leatherface must return to his glory days of old. Folks, this sequel is right where it belongs. It's on Netflix, okay? So it's not bad if you're a fan of that kind of bloodletting genre. It's not bad for a Saturday night view if it comes complete with wine, popcorn, and a bunch of your friends who are ready to scream and yell. But believe me, if you watch this once, that'll be more than enough. We're going to give it a C.
50 years I've been waiting for this night. Just to see him again.
Who?
Leatherface. Looks like it's you that he wants.
I'm not gonna let him kill you.
Fear no evil. Fear no evil.
Try anything and you're canceled, bro.
Oh.
So we are in a unique position in this episode of the show because we are kind of in the cusp, right on the borderline here between great promotions being run down at the House of Fairuza Barber Shop and Cigar Lounge. Now, if you are watching this and it's before March the 19th, you are still able to go down to the Cigar Lounge and partake of the Irish Luck card game. That's going to be held on March the 19th, and it's going to start at 5 o'clock. Well, the luck of the Irish with you. Now, if you're watching this after March 19th, then you want to look forward to April. And the date on this is April the 16th, where Sam will have his annual Easter cigar hunt. That's going to start at 1 o'clock. That's kind of nice because you get to keep the cigars you find. It's pretty cool stuff. Great things happening down at House of Fairuza Cigar Lounge. I've never gone down there and had a bad time. It's always a good place to unwind. They're located at the corner of Drake Road and South Park Road. Give Sam a call. And, while you're down there, you can get coiffed really nice, too. House of Fairuza, Barbershop and Cigar Lounge, Drake Road and South Park Road. Tell Sam, yes, I said hi. All right. We started this show off with a TV show. I want to go to another TV series. This is called From. Okay. Do you remember Lost, the TV show Lost? Okay. Lost started out really, really great. And then somewhere, I think around season 2 or 3, it started to become political, and then everybody lost interest in it. They just took it down a bad path. Okay. From is going to be like that. Okay? We're not sure how it's going to go yet. The first season of this show leaves many doors open and a plethora of subplots which will allow myriad cultural agendas to be addressed. Now, will they browbeat the viewer with it? That remains to be seen. You see, there is a strange town. And once you enter this town, you can never leave. Must be like Hotel California. Okay? At night, you best be indoors and best have your doors locked because creatures roam the night. And if they catch you, they'll disembowel you. Special effects are pretty good. Now, why are some people selected to enter this town and others are not? What are these creatures? Who is responsible for them being there? Is there a way out of this town? Well, none of these probing questions are answered in the first season. Basically, we just get a core of the cast and crew inside this little town. And that's why you have to stay tuned for season 2, and hopefully, if the producers have their way, beyond that as well. Now, this could be good. If they keep it with being uncanny and unnerving and keep the monsters and the gore going, this could be an interesting series. If they decide to throw in all of the cultural agendas and what have you, pardon me, then this movie this series will probably self-destruct just like Lost did. I hate to say it, but only time and the next season will tell. Here's a look at From.
It's important for you to understand what happens after dark.
Lock your door. Nail your window shut. You do these things, your family's gonna be safe.
Safe from what?
I've missed you so much.
Megan, what are you doing?
Maybe I can come in.
Hey, I'd like to talk more about movies with you, but we're fresh out of time. By the time I do the next show, award season should be officially over. We'll give you some highlights about that. Plus, some of the summer blockbusters are coming out before spring breaks. We'll talk about that too. And of course, we will pique your curiosity into the best of the indie market. So now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.